Good evening, everyone. I appreciate y'all watching my videos. I hope that y'all will continue to like, share, and subscribe. The newcomers that come in and watch and leave a comment. Think y'all know who I am by now. My name is Gongu Roach. I'm in the publishing business. I figured I'd share a story with y'all about one of my experiences with Puff Daddy, Diddy, whatever you want to call him, whatever y'all call him. So, a few years back, I've started obtaining some bad boy clients, and they wanted me to look into their publishing structure, which I did. And one of the first discrepancies I found was with the song "Always Love Big Poppa." So if y'all know and remember that song "Always Love Big Poppa," which came out after Big's unfortunate death, the Lox and Dame Grease, who produced the song, released that song through Bad Boy, and if you'll recall, Puff said all the proceeds go to the Wallace estate. So let me explain that, meaning by all proceeds, which means that they get the writer credit, the publisher credit, whatever other kind of credit that will come along with it. They would just get the full copyright. So instead of the Lox having their writer names in ASCAP per se, and Dame Grease having his name in ASCAP, it would just say Christopher Wallace, 100% writer credit, basically. And then on the publisher side, they were supposed to get 100% on the publisher side too. And money was supposed to be received through, administrated through Big's publisher. So from my research, I discovered some discrepancies in the 100% of the proceeds that was supposed to go to the Wallace estate. That wasn't the case, all right? So I was able to reverse the royalties, get Christopher Wallace's name off of the registrations, and got it back to the rightful owners, the Lox and Dame Grease, which they split the publishing. And I think I just mentioned before, and it came with a check, so that was a good thing. So that was one thing that I fixed. And, that worked out. Everybody was happy. And during that one process of execution, maybe a couple weeks later, Puff calls me up when I was in the other room. I was in my living room hanging out with somebody. Puff calls me up, hit me on the cell, basically told me, hey, any discrepancies you see, because I know you're looking into some other stuff, whatever discrepancies you see, don't call my lawyer. Don't talk to nobody about it. Just call me, give me the courtesy, and call me about it first. You know what I'm saying? And we'll discuss, you know what I'm saying, in case you do find something, and, we'll talk about it, So I said, okay, well, I give you the courtesy, man. I'm gonna call you first. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to tell the lawyer and not execute the process, but, I'll talk to you first about it. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you the call. You know what I'm saying? So as I was doing my forensics and discovering, what was going on inside these some of the artists' catalogs, I did find some discrepancies. All right, and it took about a year, maybe even like 2 years later, for me to approach these discrepancies, which I was about to approach, with the lawyer and what have you. But I decided, I was going to call him first. So I tried to give him a call. He changed his number. All right, fine. I called a middleman that was real close with him. He got me on three-way. All right, so now we're on three-way. So the discrepancy is that, from my knowledge, if you was with CSAC, your contract would be under Christian Combs Music Publishing. If you was with BMI, your contract would be with Janice Combs Publishing. And if you was with ASCAP, your publishing would be with Justin Combs Publishing, all right? And so those are three companies, obviously, and those three companies are administrated through a big publisher, And in my discoveries, I found another company that was outside of those names collecting money. All right, let's just say that. So that was why I was calling them to say, hey, man, I found this other company here that has nothing to do with these contracts, and I see money coming in, and from my experience, I don't think the artists are getting the money. So, backtracking maybe a year and a half ago when he called me, I'm under the impression that he knew I was going to find this account, or maybe he thought that account might pop up. So, I mean, when I approached him about it on the three-way, basically he hung up. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to talk about it. Mind you, this was like a week before he got arrested. So, I guess in my opinions, he had bigger fish to fry and more problems, and this problem wasn't as stressing as the problems he might have had coming. So he really didn't want to talk about it at all. So, you know, the conversation ended pretty quick, and the middleman said that, hey, you know, I'm gonna get you back on the phone with him, and you know, we're gonna get this discussed, and you know, things like that. And all right, you know, but he was never able to get him back on the phone. Like I said, about a week later, he got arrested, and you know, I've gotten messages from him from jail, from the middleman, saying that not even that long ago that he wanted to help me out with a couple of things, and I just never called the middleman back because I didn't want nothing to do with it. You know, I don't know if their phones is being tapped. I don't know what's going on. Hey, man, you know, you get out, we could talk about it, you know, or whatever. But for right now, you know, it's up to the lawyers to work this out, and you know, he'll get the word. So I just wanted to talk about that right quick, and you know, tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and you know, let me know what you think about that. Take care.